Hi everyone, I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative from the 18th District. I represent portions of Cowlitz and Clark counties from Washougal to Woodland to Toutle to the county line. At the time of this recording, it is looking very likely that the legislature has failed to come up with an agreed upon solution to our state's budget shortfall. Even though one party controls the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Governor's Mansion, folks are still not on the same page. As a result, a special session which could cost up around $16,000 per day will be needed in order for budget writers to do what they were supposed to do in the constitutionally mandated 105-day regular session. I want to be very clear here. I think this is absolutely unnecessary. If we don't have the money for higher education, for K-12 education, for social services, or for corrections, then we certainly don't have the money to pay legislators to stay overtime here in Olympia. Remember folks, it's not like our budget, caught us off guard. We've known about the majority of our $5.1 billion budget hole since last November. In fact, we've known about 90% of it since November. Budget writers should have been working on this problem then. Coming into session, we should have had the majority of the work already done, with a few items to clean up to get the final budget. Sadly, that hasn't been the case. A supplemental budget passed by the legislature early on in session didn't even close the budget gap between now and June 30th of this year. It was a partial solution to a serious problem, and it only made the budget hole worse for the next biennium because it pushed about $253 million of this year's shortfall into next year, creating a greater shortfall there. In addition, despite urging from myself and others, House budget writers were about 2 weeks late in reducing their 2011-13 operating budget. This ultimately pushed back the entire process, paving the way for a breakdown in negotiations and leading to the unnecessary prospect of a special session. Unfortunately, this is a poor way to lead and a poor way to govern. No one denies there are tough times, but voters elected legislators like me to make the difficult decisions to close our budget shortfall and to get Washington working again, and to do it on time. And that's what I continue to push for. Voters also sent a very clear message of no new taxes or increased taxes or fees. In short, no more revenue. Live within your means. I strongly believe this includes the tax incentives that have gone through rigorous analysis and were specifically, deliberately put in place to create and protect jobs. There is a move afoot to keep certain entitlement programs alive by eliminating these tax incentives that have helped protect our economy. Tax incentives that have protected jobs and that will be part of the formula that helps our state out of this recession. In fact, there was a hearing in the House Ways and Means Committee in the last few days of session to look at 3 hastily proposed bills that deal with certain tax incentives. The common denominator of all 3 bills is that they each eliminate the out-of-state sales tax exemption on retail sales here in Washington. This would absolutely devastate our retailers in Cowlitz and Clark County. It would lead to reduced shopping opportunities in our state, it will reduce employment in our state, forcing more people to take jobs in Oregon. It'll reduce property tax and reduce B&O tax collections in the state, all with little or no increase in sales tax revenue. I believe it's time we stopped looking for more tax revenue and started funding programs with the money already made available from taxpayers' wallets. It is what the voters told us to do. On a different note, I had 2 of my bills recently signed into law by the governor. Now, I don't always agree with my colleagues, not always with my Republican colleagues, and certainly not with my Democrat colleagues, and I don't always agree with the folks over in the Senate either. However, I always try to disagree without being disagreeable, and I always try to work with other members as much as possible. I believe this has served our district well, as I've been able to guide my bills through the minefield that is the legislative process. The first bill is House Bill 1239. Now, both of my bills fix a catch-22 that taxpayers found themselves caught in. But this one, 1239, it's a situation where if a contractor owes taxes to the Department of Revenue and the department places a lien on all of their property, including business and home, the contractor is unable to get bonded and insured to do more work, and therefore has no means to pay the back taxes. My bill would allow the department to limit such a lien to a specific piece of property, thereby freeing up the contractor to go through the licensing and bonding process, which in turn will allow them to secure work to pay those back taxes. A win for the contractor, a win for workers, and a win for the state. The second bill, House Bill 1826, will help property owners who want to appeal their property values even if they haven't received an official change in valuation. With the housing market in decline, too many homeowners are paying property taxes on homes that have gone down in value. My bill would help property owners rectify this. So if their value didn't change, but they thought it should have gone down, they still have some recourse as far as what their taxes are. As always, feel free to call me with your questions or concerns during the legislative session. You can use my direct line at 360-786-7812. Again, that's 360-786-7812. Or call the toll-free hotline. You can even send a message by email. And don't forget to check my webpage for news, and while there, you can sign up for my e-newsletter. I want to thank you for joining me throughout the legislative session, and I hope these updates have been helpful, helping you to understand what's going on up here, keeping you informed. I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative. Thanks for joining me.